Hello friends, welcome to a new CheTV video. This time I want to share with you the images from a visit I made to the house where the Wannsee Conference took place. You probably know this house from the movie Conspiracy, and if you haven't seen it, you can watch it because it truly depicts everything about this meeting very well. On January 20th, 1942, Reinhard Heydrich hosted a meeting that went down in history as the Wannsee Conference. Heydrich was then the head of the main office for Reich Security. In the invitation sent to key men from various ministries, security forces, and the Nazi Party, the need was mentioned to take all necessary organizational and technical measures to achieve a comprehensive solution to the Jewish question. In those days, the massacre of Jews was already taking place in the territories occupied by Germany in Eastern Europe. At the Wannsee Conference, they were going to discuss how to increase the scale of extermination. The objective was to murder all the Jews of Europe, estimated by the SS at least 11 million. The extermination had begun earlier. What the Wannsee Conference allowed was to establish a coordinated policy to carry it out on a larger scale and with maximum effectiveness. This policy included, among other things, the use of gas chambers. To justify the unprecedented criminal enterprise the Nazis were committing, they convinced themselves that they were acting in self-defense. According to a supposed prophecy of Adolf Hitler, repeated in many of his speeches, by the Minister of Propaganda Joseph Goebbels and other leaders of the regime, and constantly used in Nazi propaganda, the Jews were responsible for the World War and sought to destroy the Aryan race. In this way, Nazi ideology made the extermination of Jews a matter of survival for the German nation. Starting from the assumption that it was the Jews who had caused the war, Adolf Hitler's prophecy had claimed that it would end with the complete annihilation of the Jewish people. One of the many examples of this reasoning appears in Goebbels' personal diary. On March 27, 1942, 2 months after the Wannsee Conference, he wrote, taking care not to use incriminating words, the following: "A rather brutal procedure is being implemented, and it is not to be described in further detail. The Jews are being punished brutally, there is no doubt about it, but they have certainly earned it. The prophecy that the Führer announced to them in the event that they start as a new world war is beginning to be fulfilled in the most terrible way. One must not allow any sort of sentimentality in handling these matters." At the end of the meeting, the participants exchanged congratulations for what they were doing and celebrated by drinking brandy. Everything discussed was recorded, and 30 typed copies were sent out, 2 for each participant of the meeting. Upon reading his, Goebbels noted in his diary, "The Jewish question must now be resolved on a pan-European scale. Only one of those copies was found after the war. It was the copy belonging to Dr. Martin Luther, Undersecretary of the Reich Foreign Ministry. His copy number 16 was discovered in 1947 during the investigations that were part of the Nuremberg trials." Here I am, actually in the room where the conference took place in the year 1942. And the truth is, the exhibit is very well presented because on one side, we have the profiles of the 15 people who participated in the meeting, and on the other side, 10,000. We have the protocols. Adolf Eichmann, kidnapped by Mossad in Argentina and sentenced to hang in Israel, was one of the participants in the conference. During his trial, he acknowledged that the purpose of the meeting had been to discuss the logistics of the extermination. Eichmann was also responsible for ensuring that there were no direct references to extermination in the protocols, but rather vague euphemisms such as evacuations to the east or appropriate treatment. This is the upper part of the Wannsee Conference house, which has a hallway with various posters showing how Germany worked in different periods to take responsibility for the memory of its people, for all the things that happened here. That's why there are photos from different magazines and newspaper covers. And this door that's closed here is the library, where there's an archive. The Library and Documentation Center located on the upper floor of the house bear the name of Joseph Wolf. Wolf was a historian, a resistance fighter against Nazism, and a survivor of Auschwitz. In 1965, he proposed the creation of a museum in this house, which was functioning as a school at that time. His proposal did not receive the support of the Berlin government, and Wolf committed suicide in 1974. On January 20th, 1992, 50 years after the conference, the museum was finally inaugurated. I hope you liked this video, share it with friends, give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and we will see each other in the next Che TV video. A big hug and take care. Bye. Bye.